Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Yes? Okay, thank you. Well, thank you, Raquel, for introducing us. I'm going to give a little bit of an intro about myself. So I'm Maitri, and I'm working at Articamp as the Director of Client Delivery. I have been a project manager at Articamp a few years back and now playing the new role. And I'm going to be presenting this talk here with my colleague, Rahul.
I'm Rahul Bansal. I'm founder and CEO of Articamp. I'm doing this from last 15 years and using WordPress from last 17 years.
Okay, so let's get started with talking about the impact of journalism. It is a theme that closely aligns with our collective mission to democratize publishing. Journalism has often been referred to as the fourth estate. It is because of the essential role it plays in molding the society, holding the power accountable, and providing information to the citizens so that they can make informed decisions.
Throughout the history, courageous and purpose-driven journalism has spoken the uncomfortable truth of time and brought social and cultural change. Be it role of James Baldwin's essays in civil rights movement, Bal Gangadhar Tilak's work back in India in the country's freedom struggle, or more recently Panama paper leak, like the paper leak exposed how rich and wealthy evades the tax and increases the social inequalities. But every time one such courageous journalism came forward, it brought some social change. And there are many examples of such change. One such change we are fighting is climate change. And this is an image from, any guesses what does this image shows? New York flood, yeah. So this is an image from New York flood, not generated by AI. This is a real image. No AI is used in this image. And this is how New York looked like almost a year ago. And we have this climate change as a current crisis going on.
And yeah, this brings us to Grist, a publisher that we are going to be showcasing today to demonstrate how they are using WordPress to power their compelling journalism. Grist is an award-winning nonprofit media organization that has been dedicated towards highlighting climate solutions and environmental injustice since 1999. They are currently focused on data, social change, and solutions to bring a sustainable future within our reach. Grist urges their audience to innovate and adapt to a future that is quickly becoming a reality. And they are committed to supporting the people, the ideas, and the stories that are going to make this possible. Articamp and Grist have been working together for the past 5 years. Let's dive into how Grist is telling their stories by using yours truly, WordPress. So at Grist, WordPress is offering the editorial teams a low-code interface to craft their stories using Gutenberg and the ACF plugin. It is not about eliminating code entirely, but it is about providing enough flexibility to empower the content creators without overwhelming them. What sets WordPress apart is the stability and the extensiveness of the site editor. It is more than just a user interface. It is designed to support unique workflows for each editorial team. It also natively supports things like embeds and inline JavaScript, which is particularly useful for Grist for their visualizations that you will see shortly. In addition to all of this, ACF is helping extend WordPress functionalities. From a writer's perspective, it is keeping things easy and intuitive. And for the developers, it is providing a cost-effective way to provide custom features that meet some specific needs without the heavy lift of complex coding. And the result? The result is a flexible and scalable solution that gives the editorial teams the tools that they need to create content-rich and immersive stories without being held back by any technical limitations. As you're seeing, there is some wonderful use of some 3D interactive images. Then there are some before and after comparisons being used. There's also some there is also some visualization with some interaction with changes based on the user's choices. We have some scrolling units being used. And some wonderful parallax effect, and many, many more. The best part about this is that this experience for the editors as well as Grist's audience is being achieved and made available across all the subsites within Grist's network.
So let's see how WordPress is powering the entire Grist network. So they have like 100 contributors across the network collaborating on all these immersive pieces you just saw. Those were all like powered by WordPress. They have like 60,000 content on their flagship site, and they have many sites in their network, starting with the Grist main site, and then they have Grist 50, which is like a fixer database. A fixer is anybody like a scientist, artist, entrepreneur, a farmer who is bringing climate change, fighting against the climate change. So like anybody who's fixing the harm that has been done to the climate. So they maintain this database on Grist 50, where you can go search that database, interact with those people. Then there is another site they have dedicated to a book that's called The World We Need. This book has stories of American unsung heroes who are fighting climate change battles on their own. Then there is a rural news wire, which focuses on smaller rural communities fighting against climate change. Then there is a Uproot database. So this Uproot is basically another database. Grist 50 was Fixers database. This is a journalist database. So if you are a newsroom, you need journalists to help you with some climate change coverage or journalism, you can go to the Uproot database and find journalists there. They have then one specific site called PS Mag, that is Pacific Standard Magazine. And this magazine has a unique story. So this was the most recent addition to the WordPress. So Grist was, Grist has been around for many years, and over the time they are moving to the WordPress. And in this last piece that moved to the WordPress, they were given 30 days notice by their previous CMS vendor to upgrade to a inordinately expensive plan or just shut down their site. And so we had 30 days right from the having to hear first time there is a project we need to do and taking it live in 30 days. But then this is where our WordPress ecosystem comes to the rescue, because there is no way we could go through design, theme development, all the nitty-gritties and make it like everything in 30 days, data migration, making links intact, everything. And the previous CMS vendor was not helping at all. They just gave us an XML dump and you are on your own. Pay us more or your site will be down after 30 days. But then because of WordPress ecosystem, we could run two parallel teams. One use an existing WordPress theme which closely looked like their site. Then that team started modifications and the other team started working on in parallel on data migration. Less than 30 days from never having heard about this project, we went live, and then there's previous vendor, we could easily say goodbye. So this is the power of WordPress. And this is how they are growing with WordPress together. WordPress is center of their entire network, be it those immersive journalism pieces which you saw in video, be it a book for which they need a support site. They have databases of fixers and journalists, all are maintained using WordPress. So as you see, WordPress is not just helping them manage articles. It is more to them, it is helping them maintain databases, books, and a lot more things. And then across all these sites, we have built some integrations that solve their use cases. Some of those integrations we will see in the subsequent slides. And then when we moved that Pacific Standard magazine in 30 days, another thing happens is training. So the people who are using previous CMS, they also need to adapt to the new CMS. But then WordPress user interface, the WP admin, is consistent across all their sites already. So some of the PS Mac staff already knew how to use WordPress because they were also collaborating on other sites. So because of this consistent WordPress everywhere, they had zero training cost. Their staff can get up and running immediately on WordPress. And then to bring the cost down, we have built a lot of reusable components, Gutenberg blocks, that we use across each site. That was another reason we could pull this in less than 30 days. And there was no more vendor to negotiate. They had RTCamp as their agency partner on standby. They had WordPress VIP as their hosting partner on standby. It was very smooth experience, much smoother than the negotiation they were going through the previous vendor.
One of the things that we did for Grist was content syndication. But what is content syndication? Well, it is a wonderful way for publishers and newsrooms to extend their reach and boost their visibility by distributing their content across various platforms. Along with increasing the ad impressions, it helps create a brand authority for the newsrooms and publishers. The more their content reaches to the audience, it helps them set up as a leading voice in their industry. Grist presented us with a challenge back then, where there was no straightforward way for them to have their content republished on other websites without the manual copy-paste efforts. And if there were some people who wanted to republish the content and were ready to do that manual copy-paste, they would run into copyright issues because Grist very often uses externally sourced licensed media. Now, let's say that they also managed to republish the story, including with all those copyright issues. Grist never knew what was the impact of the content that was getting syndicated. There was no way for them to measure who it was reaching, what kind of interactions people were having. Everything just went in the dark for Grist. So we provided Grist with a simple solution that made it very easy for their republishers to share Grist stories without any worry of copyright. Republishers are able to simply use the syndication button, as you can see here, and they get a version of the story that is completely stripped from the copyrighted media. To make things more easier, they are also able to choose from an SEO-friendly HTML or plain text format, which makes it very easy for the republishers to share their stories irrespective of what the destination CMS is. However, there is still a piece of the puzzle that is still missing. How was Grist supposed to track what the impact of their syndicated content was?
So for this tracking, we built another solution. We place a Google Tag Manager pixel in that HTML you saw on the previous page. So, and we, by the way, gave a disclaimer about it that when you copy paste this HTML, it will have a tracking pixel, and that is a minimal tracking. We are only tracking like how many views we are getting from different regions. So that Google Tag Manager pixel collects all that data on third-party sites, send it to a Google Analytics dashboard, which looks like this. So Grist knows which stories are getting more republished or which republished stories are getting more traffic and from what reason. So So that all that together helps them draw out some analytics, and analytics is very important for data-driven publishing. So let's see. So we have seen the journalism and impact. If journalism is about all impact, then this data that we are gathering, it helps us amplifies that impact. And by data, we mean that the data about finding right content and pages that are converting well. Conversion can mean different things. For some publishers, it can mean reducing the bounce rate. For some publishers, it can mean getting people to sign up for if they have a paid plan. Different people have different conversion goals, different media houses. But then without data, you will never know what is converting well. Likewise, you can identify traffic pattern, as we saw in the redistributed content heat map, global heat map. We could see what traffic patterns we are getting, from where they are getting them. And then we can see general trends that if a certain topic is getting more eyeballs compared to other topics. When we get all this data, it helps us shape the editorial policy. It goes back into your content calendar and it acts as a feedback loop. Google Analytics we are using for content syndication, but there is more. Google Analytics plus we are using something called Parsley. While Google Analytics is free, Parsley is not free, but it turned out to be a very good choice for this project. Since all Grist properties are using WordPress and Parsley is built keeping WordPress in mind, it has lowest learning curve. Out of the box, it tracks your all the WordPress meta like categories, tags, taxonomies, authors, and so we can create dashboards for different roles within Grist. These people get analytics, actionable analytics they need. Since Parsley is very easy to use, it's often get used. So with Parsley, like this is the feedback from the Grist team. It's really easy enough to use, so it actually gets used.
Well, from all that we have seen today, it helps confirm that WordPress is a comprehensive content ecosystem that is capable of handling complex strategies and delivering measurable results. For Grist, it has done this by creating a comprehensive strategy for their by the way we managed to do the content syndication for them, and by the way we managed to provide performance analysis. It has also enabled Grist to make some data-driven decisions that are currently guiding all their editorial strategies. And WordPress is providing a holistic approach that helps us that helps us get rid of the assumption that WordPress is just a blogging platform. So thank you so much for coming to our session here today. We hope this helped give an idea about what else you can do with WordPress and how much you can extend it further. I know we managed to do it a little bit quicker, but that means maybe we have more time for some Q&A. We are open for some question and answers.
Hi, thank you very much for the excellent presentation. I have a question about canonical links. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I have my own blog and I'm trying to get more people to share, but I know that canonical links are super important in getting the correct, so it doesn't look like people are copying without permission. How do you guys manage that on Grist?
So we, in the HTML that we publish, we put a link like this article is published originally by Grist, that they can remove the at the source, but then we cannot prevent if people copy paste manually. We try to get a backlink to the original article.
So how do you do the backlinks?
The HTML that we generate, we have a link in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Hi, I'm just curious about your content syndication and if you created that on your own or is that a plugin that you've used?
We created it on our own, it's a like we implement it as a plugin. It's a feature that basically when somebody clicks that button, it takes them to a page. We pass story ID to that page, and on there we show two markup. One is a HTML version, one is a plain text version. And by the way, during HTML processing, we remove all the copyrighted media. So if the original page has a, so how do I put, like, Grist itself use a lot of licensed media, and for some media, they have right to use it, but not don't have right to relicense it. So while Grist can show those images on their site, they must be removed if anybody is republishing Grist content. So we in that custom workflow, we remove automatically those IMG tags from that HTML.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day ahead. Bye-bye.